Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. Today, as you can tell, we are going to be taking a look at this beast of a ship, which has had a bit of an update. Now, this is the Aegis Retaliator, as I'm sure many of you are aware, as the ship has been out for quite some time now. But with the new addition of ship modularity, this was the first ship to receive that treatment. It has also been gold standardized, which is generally just the most current up-to-date tech for the ship systems. It has everything applied that is the most current, so we will take a look around it. I'm not going to do a review of the ship because, as I say, the Retaliator's been out for a few years, so it's not like it's a new ship, but it does add a whole new facet now that we have modularity. And I've got the cargo option installed. So in terms of modularity, there are a few different modules you can get for the Retaliator. Right now, the only ones that are available in-game are the torpedo module, which was the sort of standard that we had for a long while, and the cargo modules front and back. There is sort of a living quarters front and back, and there is a dropship front and back option to come later down the line, plus anything else CIG can think of, or that we request. But within a limit. They don't want to have this ship capable of just doing absolutely everything just because it can. Oh, we've actually landed on a rock there. It's kind of handy, though. It seems to have leveled the ship out. Weird. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the pros and cons of the Retaliator as a cargo hauler, what its use cases are, what its weaknesses are in terms of just general haulage. But I really, really like it. The downside is it's quite limiting when it comes to just general haulage, which, as I say, I will get to in a minute. Now, in terms of turrets, you've got three turrets with two size 3 weapons on. I believe that will be the bottom rear, bottom front, and top side front, which is over there. Nice range of movement for each of them. Obviously you can't look underneath when you're on the top and vice versa, but it also has 2 wing turrets. These are all manned, by the way, and I think on the top there are 2 size 2s, which right now it comes default with Klaus and Werner energy repeaters. Now the front module, let's just open these up. In fact, let's have a walk through the ship first so that you can see what I've got inside. There is a few limitations with the size of the modules. The front module is 38 SEU in size, and the rear one is 36, which is 74, I believe. And then you enter this newly designed or sort of restructured lobby area, where instead of it having a docking collar top and bottom, which would cause a bit of a problem when you EVA'd in because you would just fall straight back out again. So clearly not a good idea. You have what looks to be the quantum drive, a docking collar on the side now, which is a nice addition. Let me just open that up. And then your single elevator rather than 2 elevators, one side and the other side. So you have kind of lost a bit of elevator space, especially for a ship that's kind of a crew, or a fully efficient crew of 6 or 7. Getting on board, you may need to take it in turns rather than everybody piling onto the elevator in one go. But a nice spacious area here where you've got room to maneuver. As I say, that's the quantum drive there. We will take a look at all the fiddly bits in a second. The bathroom is here, which I completely forgot it had. I remember it had a bathroom, but I couldn't remember where to find it. Just down there. And also, the lighting states are now in. So you've got your default lighting state. You've got auxiliary, which is when it's sort of off. Nice bit of mood lighting there. Like backup. Oh, don't shut. And then you've got an emergency option, which seems a bit odd to put it on a panel that you can press it. That should just be an automatic state. But there is still a lot more to do in terms of these emergency states and being able to change the lighting states, the door states, having a lot more control over it. But it is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't think it should be a button that someone can press, because then it would just be people getting trolled. Anyway, let's go to not the bridge, the cockpit. And we will walk past the front module, or the bow module, which is here. As you can see, I've got an STV and a PTV in there. This is 38 SEU. In fact, we should have gone through that door, thinking about it. So, yeah, it's not a bad size. For comparison, you've got the Corsair, which can hold 72 SEU. So it is actually a little bigger than the Corsair in terms of standard cargo unit capacity. Have I not turned those lights on? What's going on? But the downside being is that you can actually fit... They are on. You can actually fit an Earth rover in it, like you can in the Corsair. So there is a bit of a trade-off there. It does make it a little difficult to... If you're wanting to transport a vehicle, especially the size of an Ursa, and now with the new medical Ursa, oh, it's a shame to not be able to transport that. Something else I've noticed, we will go through all the components in a second, but for this one, we have got the relay location, which if you take this out, it'll cut the power. I'm sure the lights are not actually on. Hang on. So these are relays that is going to be part of the engineering system, where you will be able to... They'll kind of act like fuses. You'll be able to replace them. They'll burn out. It's just... It feels like we're on auxiliary. No, we're not. It's just dark. If you're wondering about the whole claustrophobic feeling of this ship, it was always designed to be similar to that of a submarine. That was something that they actually designed it for, because it is a military torpedo boat. So it was intentional that it feels like a submarine. I believe these might be the door unlock release, like manual release. It was mentioned, I think, on the monthly report that when it comes to the engineering systems, you should always be able, if you've lost all power, you should always be able to open a door, just not close it. So it'll be a case of grabbing this if the door is locked, you know, when you lose power, opening it up, but you just won't be able to shut it again, which makes sense, an emergency state. So there's the cockpit. We'll take a look at that in a sec with the dashboard. One thing I really like about this ship is you do have a captain's quarters. With it being a militarized ship at heart, it has this option where, you know, you have your own space if you own the ship, or if you're in control. Don't think it's fully set up with all the different nooks and lockers and whatnot, but a nice little location. Right now, you can't bedlog in this ship either, which is a shame, but it's not... you will be able to eventually. So you've got the captain's quarters, and then the rest of the crew can sleep up here. This is also where you have access to the top turret, which is here. Again, I'm not planning to do a full-on tour. I'm just really supposed to be showing off the new design and the gold standard. So you've got a lot of weapon placements here. You've got 3 per location there, so that's like 12 weapons, which is 2 per person. Although I suppose if there's 6 of you, but there might be 7 because you've got a captain. So 6 beds. Looks like you've got a component to go there as well. Nice little area of lighting as well. But yeah, let's get back downstairs and we'll take a closer look at these cargo modules. So far, I have managed to fit a mule, the Drake mule, the STV, and the Grey Cat PTV, as you can see. I haven't tried fitting a hoverquad or a dragonfly, but I would expect them to fit. This is the rear module. Right now we just have a pulse in there. There it is, look. As you can see me driving it earlier on. And this is 36 SEU, so 38 at the front, 36 at the back. Not a bad size, to be fair. And then on the sides around here, part of the gold standard, you've got... Is this a locker? Well, these might actually be for some form of component, because you do have lockers at the back here. You've got 6 lockers, so 1 per crew, and they have some nice inventory storage space. If it wants to work. Do I have to click it? Oh, there we go. It's just servers just catching up. So you do have We've opened all of them, it looks like. But you do have some good storage space, 1 per person. This, I'm not entirely sure what this is, but I believe, if I was to guess, it is to do with the sort of liquids and gases on board. Same with your, life support and engineering. When it comes to salvaging a ship, it was said that the sort of end goal is to have gases and liquids that need to be siphoned out in order for it to be safe to then be munched. So if you don't want to just go straight into munching a ship because, well, firstly, you'll miss out on all the RMC, but secondly, you could cause some sort of catastrophic explosion or chain events where it blows the ship up because the gases are trapped inside and or flammable liquids and so forth. So it could be that that's how you fill them up, extract them, but until we get word, I don't really know. It could just be a weird lavatory. This is your access to one of the side turrets. More components around here, like the cooler. There it is. And then your rear lower turret access is there. Your other cooler is there. You have another relay node here. Or, sorry, not relay node, but relay station. Looks like you can get 2 in there. And once we get the engineering panels, you will see the schematic. You will see all the wireframes of what is connected to what. And have to figure it out as you go. Or just get good, I guess. So this has a little medical badge. So I wonder if this is something to do with medical storage. 3 of the lockers. And then the majority of your components are here. So I think that's empty. You've got... Now, one thing that I think is pretty impressive about this ship, one of the pros, I would say, is that it does have 6 shields. I think they're size 2s. I haven't checked. Do correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe you have 6 size 2 shields, which makes it very heavily shielded. And this is the sort of thing about the pros and cons with all ships. They are intentional. Yes, there might be oversights, which they will address later on, but most of these design cues are intentional. It's probably intentional that you can't fit something like an Ursa Rover in. It'll be intentional that the pilot cannot fire a weapon, which is another sort of con about the ship. I'll get more onto that in a second. This is your engineering panel. I don't know if this is set up as a, visually, if it is exactly what it's going to be, or if this is the old one. It looks like the old one. But I'm sure there will be much more to it. Maybe even panels and devices so that you can have access to every part of your ship. Oh, this way. But yeah, like this ship, with it being a military ship, it is heavily armored. When we get the physical damage system and actual armor system, it'll be one of the most armored ships that there is. Can we shut this door again? Yeah, there we go. In fact, let's open the cargo bays. You'll have a good solid armor set to it. It'll be well shielded. When it's fully crewed, with the 5 turrets and, an engineer running around, it is going to be a pretty formidable, even hauler, as, if we're talking about the hauling cargo bays. Did I not press that right? Or is it delayed? And with accommodation for all of you as well, it's actually a really decent ship. The downside being is, of course, as a pilot, you don't have access to the weapons. Right now, I don't think I've had access to the missiles either as the pilot, which I believe is supposed to... I think you're supposed to. There isn't like a missile operator mode for this ship. So, like station. So I believe you are supposed to have access as the pilot to the missiles. It could have just been a bug during the day that I was playing it. Or maybe I just wasn't targeting anyone. That would make more sense. But I think so at this time, having it as a daily driver is probably not too optimal because you won't be able to defend yourself. Eventually, when we get blades for the CPU, in fact, I don't know where the CPU is. Let me go and have a look for it. The idea being is that with your CPU, you will have a set amount of slots where you can put in a blade. And these blades kind of automate a certain process, or they make it easier for you. They will have buffs and cons applied to them as well. and it's your choice whether, you know, which ones you want to use. Now, there will be a limit to how many you can use. We're not going to be able to have every turret slaved, I wouldn't think. Usually the blades, or the CPU is up front, so let's go and have a look up there. So, I don't expect you will be able to pilot this ship with every single turret being automated. I think it's more likely going to be 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most that will be automated. My guess would be 2, but we don't know at this time. Let me just see where it is, if I can find it. It doesn't seem to be here. Maybe it would be in the engineering, because the pilot would be busy. But yeah, so it makes sense that at this time it's a bit of a useless hauler in the sense that you can't defend yourself, so I wouldn't really recommend using it, although the sort of ability to defend it, or the defenses like your shields and the armor, it'll be quite a difficult ship to take out. So I think even at this time, you might be able to get away with not getting shot down and being able to run and get out of there, provided you can toggle into your shields at a safe time. Have I missed something? These are also shields and an empty one, I think. Most likely where the power plant and whatnot will go. So yeah, it's probably gonna be not too bad to use right now, but once we do get blades, using it as a daily driver when you're just hauling goods should be fine. But I think the intention of this ship, specifically when it comes to hauling, if you're specifically running, you know, the cargo modules, you want to be running valuable cargo or dangerous cargo, going through dangerous areas. When these new cargo systems come out in 3.2, 0.2 hopefully it looks like, we're going to have a lot of different types of cargo to haul, and some of them will be very dangerous. The payout will be a lot more for this, so it would warrant taking a crew of 6, or at least, you know, 3 if you can have 2 manning the turrets, or maybe 1 engineering, 1 on the turret, and just communicating well with your pilot. So I think the idea of this ship is more to run valuable cargo or dangerous cargo, or cargo going through a dangerous area, whereas, you know, something like a hull A or a hull B would be going through areas, or, you know, that kind of size would be the ones that are fine for your daily driving kind of hauling jobs. So right now, maybe avoid it if you are worried about getting attacked, but at the same time, if you're a cargo hauler, you just want to be getting out of there. So the minute you see any trouble coming, kind of punch it in your nav mode and go, and hope that they don't catch up. It is pretty nifty ship, to be fair, in atmosphere. It does fly quite well. Doesn't roll great. Oh, sorry, it doesn't yaw great, but it does pitch well. And I enjoy flying it, but it is a big ship, so you do have that to, you know, to deal with. It's not the quickest or most nimble of ships, which you would expect, but probably a little more than most civilian-style ships. Let's just take it for a spin. Let's just put these back up. Just bounce around a little bit on there. I think the server's slightly delayed as well. Oh, there it goes. Boing, 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 boing. Whoop, it does settle eventually. But I really like it, and I am contemplating picking one up just because of its versatility, especially when we get the other modules. You could have one module with cargo, the other module with living space, or as a dropship. It could be a great vehicle for if you're trying to establish a base in a dangerous area. Having it as a hauler to bring in resources and goods to your people in that location where, you know, they might get into trouble. Oh, there's the button. Nice. It would probably suit that quite well. And then just having these modules sitting around ready for when you need to swap them out. I really do like the design and how it works. But yeah, I can see why a lot of people might be turned away from it. Oh, the top turret. Is it? No, bottom turret is here. Top turret up there. Bottom turret down here. But yeah, I can see why people wouldn't favor this over something else, just because you can't really protect yourself if you are soloing. But this isn't intended as a solo ship. This is supposed to be something you fly with other people. But yeah, when we get blades, might not be necessary. Now, some cool features. You've got VTOL, which is very nice. You have, when you're in landing mode, your wings will tuck in. When you are not in landing mode, they will pull out again. Let's just get to a good view. You can toggle the VTOL on and off, I believe. Yeah, you can use VTOL on and off, but when your landing gear comes up, that changes the state of the wings, and it automatically puts VTOL on. You can't do that separately. Not yet. But it is a cool looking ship. I've always loved the design of the Retaliator. It was one of the earliest, not earliest, but one of the early ships that we got access to. And it's pretty quick. In nav mode, anyway. I think it's 195 top SEM speed when you're in, you know, SEM mode. Which isn't too bad. Rolling is doable, but somewhat slow. You can yaw. In SEM mode, it's not too bad yawing. And you've got to remember as well, you will have crew. Your likeliness will, or likelihood is you will have crew on board. So you've got to make sure that your maneuvers are not going to destroy or throw them around inside. You've got to be gentle because of inertia. But if you want to turn in an emergency, you're best off rolling and then pitching. But she handles nicely. Let's go and boost, see what we can get to. So you can get an extra 100 meters a second when you're boosting, up to 295. And then in SEM mode, so in SEM, your standard speed when in atmosphere is about 270. Oh, when it's going up. So it looks like the top speed is about 300 when in atmosphere in nav mode. But if we boost, we can punch it another, looks like about 70 meters a second, so up to 370 if you want to get away in atmosphere. That's what you're looking at. So not a bad speed, but again, it's a larger ship, so it's not supposed to be super quick, but with it having a military background, chances are it's got a little bit more capability than others. But yeah, so that's... let's just go into missile mode. This is the Retaliator with the cargo modules. I really like it. So you can see I'm toggling into missiles, but it doesn't show me I have any available. Maybe that's because I've just taken the torpedoes out. That would explain it. I wonder how many people commented earlier on about that. I forget it doesn't actually have any other missile options outside of its torpedoes. So you take that out, you're not going to have access to any form of missiles. It all just makes sense now. Yeah, I really enjoy this ship. I think it is a great vehicle, and it's so nice that you can have cargo now with it. They will bring the dropship versions of the modules. They will bring the habitation modules. They will bring others, whatever that will be. I know they mentioned the thought, you know, not a guarantee, but thought about bringing things like the medical module. There was another one, and I can't remember what it was. They said they wouldn't likely bring a salvaging module because they don't want one ship to sort of rule them all. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I am still debating. I'm actually debating whether to melt my Corsair and upgrade to something like, not upgrade, but pick up something like this. I feel like having that modularity will be great, but the downside is my Corsair is supposed to be the pyro exploration ship, where I would have an Ursa. So I'm still debating it, but with the versatility of this ship and its strengths being its armor, its weaponry, its accommodation, you know, its 6 shields. It is a bit of a beast, but you just need to make sure you've got the manpower to make it that way. That said, we will see what happens when they bring the blades. That should give it a little bit of a, you know, a solo leg up, or even NPC crew. We will eventually be able to have NPC crew when they come along. And yeah, see how it handles, or see what happens, what the possibilities are when we get that. I think it's going to have a lot of use cases. But yeah, ultimately, ideally suited to cargo runs that are in dangerous places. And when we get this new patch with the cargo updates, this will probably come into its own. If you're bringing crew along to man the turrets, there will be missions that take you into dangerous areas, or high-value crew, you know, high-value cargo, so you're going to be more of a target to pirates. It's something, you will want something like this. Anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos. I will be getting on with my off-grid stuff this next week, now that the Inside Star Citizen Live will be coming to a close for the foreseeable, for the next month. So it'll give me a bit more time to get on with actual gameplay stuff. So yeah, do expect to see a lot more in the lines of off-gridding in 323, maybe a 0 to hero off-grid as well, Astor's clearing. Looking forward to cracking on with those again. Come and hang out over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother. You are more than welcome over there. We will be probably doing the off-grid 0 to hero on a different account today. Although, we've got Inside Star Citizen to watch, Star Citizen Live, the monthly report. I might want to go through that a little bit, so be sure to come check me out. Link is below. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favour, and tick that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when my videos go live. A huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.